So I got a question for you. Our special friend, 17th letter of the alphabet and whatnot. You guys thought that was over? Military ain't doing nothing. So it just complete garbage, right? Okay. Do you remember one of the sayings they used to always say to us, basically? Future proves past. You remember that one? Future proves past. Meaning, we're going to say this to you now. It will make no sense right now. But in the future, it will make a lot of sense. And you'll look back and go, oh. Okay? So if something kind of major just happened, and it was a future proves past event that hasn't happened yet, just did. Well, how would that make you feel? Would it make you feel like, oh, the operation's still ongoing. The military operation is still ongoing. And the vote audit deal in Arizona might actually do something and mean something. So, last few days, there's this thing going around, 25% of the United States or world's internet IP addresses were held by the Pentagon. Mysterious entity. No one knows who this really is. Can't find out who really the person is. They can't find the guy and comment. We call it a business, and it just went to automation, and it brings you back to the automated menu. No one answers the phone. We don't know what's going on, but they've got control of the world's 25% of the IP of shady companies going with ties to DARPA and the Pentagon. Have you heard about that recently? Minutes before Trump left office, minutes before he left office, January 6th, or was it the latter date, whatever, millions of the Pentagon's dormant IP addresses sprang to life. April 24th, this was posted. While the world was distracted with President Trump leaving office on January 20th, yeah, 20th, not the 6th. The 6th was the nonsense. An obscure Florida company discreetly announced that to the world's, blah, blah, blah. They got these IPs. The company, Global Resource Systems, LLC, kept adding to its zone of control. Soon it had claimed 56 million IP addresses owned by the Pentagon. 3 months later, the total was nearly 175 million. That's almost 6% of a coveted traditional section of internet real estate called IP version 4. Where such large chunks are worth billions of dollars on the open market. The entities controlling the largest swaths of the internet generally are telecommunications giants whose names are familiar, AT&T, China Telecom, Verizon. But now at the top of the list was Global Resource Systems, a company founded only in September that has no publicly reported federal contracts and no obvious public-facing website. As listed in records, the company's address in Plantation, Florida, outside Fort Lauderdale, blah, 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 blah. Okay, stay with me. Stay with me. Post number 3579 from you-know-who. November 11th, 2019. Route _DOD _11.11.18. They're giving you a partial IP address. America will be unified again. Future proves past. That's the statement. Guess what happens if someone does a search for that subnet, 11.11.18.0, just add the 0 to .255, which is the whole subnet. That range, according to a lookup site that you can look up IP addresses, is an IP address range owned by Global Resource Systems, LLC, and located in the United States. 11.11.18.0, of course. Posted by you-know-who, November 11th, 2019. Future proves past in the message. And we just had a major transfer of an enormous amount of IP addresses to this company Nobody knows about them. Who are they? We don't know. And they're also in Florida. Where's Trump? In Florida. Mar-a-Lago. So what do you think this means? Why would this happen? Why is it happening if nothing's happening behind the scenes? If this whole thing was a fraud and a farce, billions and billions of dollars worth of IP addresses, essentially, were handed over to that company minutes, they say, before Donald Trump left office, one of his final acts. Now, is it possible, and I mean, there's a lot of IP addresses there, because there's more than just that subnet, but, you know, one thing those boards told us about was a new social media platform would come online. Goodbye Facebook, goodbye YouTube, goodbye Google, goodbye all the criminal social media, Twitter. Now, you don't have to have a whole bunch of IP addresses to do that. You could have one IP address. If there's 2 or 3 sites they bring up, you could have 2 or 3 IP addresses. As a matter of fact, you could host multiple sites under a single IP address, technically speaking. But again, maybe for some kind of strategic reasons, you know, they want a hard code IP per website that they'll be putting out. But again, how many, you can have millions of websites? No, you're going to have a few websites at best. But anyways, there's more to this than meets the eye, I'm sure. And we don't know what it is yet. Yet this happened. So I did want to share that with you. I got an interesting video next about Julianne. Last reading she gave me. Channeling. She nailed 2 things. And I'm only really... No, I could mention both. Anyways, take care. I'm going to do that next.